Lasers.
Lasers.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah, this story that, it's just a report here from, I think this is India Times.
These breathtaking pictures of a lightning bolt that struck the statue of Christ the Redeemer. Pictures on your screens, you can see the bolt of lightning striking the head of the statue. Now, this is not the first time an incident of lightning has struck the statue.
So, yes, on the 10th of February, 2023, there was a lightning strike on the Christ Redeemer statue there. And if I was going to make a CGI art piece of face like the sun, it would be a lightning bolt striking the face of a giant Jesus statue. And that's precisely what this is. I know it's happened before, but it's very interesting that it happened right around now, because 10 years ago, on the 12th of February, 2013, lightning strikes the Vatican. Do you remember that story?
Indeed.
Yep. 10 years ago, almost to the day. It was a couple days off, but you know. So that's weird. And also, I know you mentioned the big game there at the top. I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second here. But it is the year 2023. And 23 has always been a number that, there's the 23 Enigma. Jordan wore 23. There's all kinds of Stanley Kubrick movie references to 23. So you knew it was going to be kind of a wild year. But of course, Phoenix is the host of the Super Bowl this year, right? And
yes.
Phoenix being, of course, a couple different things. One, Phoenix, Arizona, 1997 is where the big V-shaped UFO sighting was. One of the famous UFO sightings in America, called the Phoenix Lights. So there's some history there with ufology, but also the Phoenix itself in mythology, Greek mythology, a cyclical, regenerate, immortal bird, that rises from the ashes of its predecessors. It's very often referenced in a lot of occult things and movies, and it's everywhere. Everyone knows about the Phoenix. Which some people have suggested, the cardinal red that we've been seeing a lot on at the Grammys, and then at the halftime show, I think Rihanna wore red, right? Seems to be a theme as well. Also, the Cardinals play in Arizona. Just some stuff. There's also the Mass of the Phoenix. This is a Thelema ritual. Of course, Thelema being created by Aleister Crowley. As one of his rituals is called the Mass of the Phoenix. And then there's River Phoenix. Remember the actor River Phoenix? He was born on August 23rd, 1970, and he died at 23 years old at the Viper Room. And the story being that he overdosed on heroin and cocaine. And
doesn't he have a connection with Phoenix, the city?
I don't remember. Maybe. I mean, Phoenix grew up in.
I think he does.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There's been a lot of rabbit trails on River Phoenix and just all the weird ties in with
oh no, it's a classic.
The Vatican, and there's all kinds of stuff. So, just kind of bringing it all back to the statue getting hit with a lightning bolt and making this sort of imagery. I don't know. The timing of everything seems very interesting. Oh, that's right. And also LS in the chat. Children of God cult. Part of River Phoenix's story. He was part of that cult that abused children, sexually abused children. I think he was abused at 4 years old. So obviously the trauma background, which is interesting in light of everything we know now about trauma-based mind control and all that kind of stuff. But the lightning conversation, it's just interesting because, I've been kind of looking at all this balloon stuff and going down different rabbit trails. And part of it we documented in the last episode, but it was really about the recurring theme of electromagnetism being a big part of what seemingly is sort of the technology behind, the advanced stuff that we're not really hearing much about. And I mentioned the Nikola Tesla, his earthquake machine article from Forbes, 2020, I think in the last episode. But there's also a bunch of other stuff that I documented here on a Twitter thread. And one of them being that the Navy had patented a vehicle that uses the electromagnetic field to create a sort of a bubble around a craft. That was kind of interesting. We talked about.
Isn't that the Philadelphia experiment?
I don't know if it was, but this is separated. This is in 2016 or 17, where they were trying to get this patent. Yeah. So an artificially generated high energy, high frequency electromagnetic field, as described in Navy Case PAX 182, can fulfill all three conditions simultaneously, which is in the accelerated vibration rotation model. And then it creates a state.
You're kind of talking about the electric universe, is what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm not trying.
You're talking about the concept of electromagnetism, how there's some, even some very compelling mainstream physics science that is sort of revolves around electromagnetism being the core principle of existence. I mean, of the universe,
but also
of mass and everything.
And part of harnessing it, much like harnessing fire or whatever, just a source of energy, seems to be kind of the World War III theme, where weapons of that type, when we were talking about earthquakes and HARP and all this kind of stuff, it just seems like the constant theme that comes up, because we have the William Cohen statement about the earthquake machines that we covered last episode from 1997, the Department of Defense. He said that, like, yeah, they do earthquakes based on electromagnetic waves. It's in his statement,
right?
And then we have the Encyclopedia Britannica having articles about using electromagnetism and creating biochemical effects, which sounds like the Havana effect that we've heard about, in the news and everything else the last few years. And there's obviously the electromagnetism connection to lightning and the Putin UFO. And I go through different things in the thread, but the one thing that I thought was really interesting is that this kind of suggests that there is sort of because we talk about the counterfeit signs and wonders, right? The Antichrist and all that kind of stuff, and tying it into Project Bluebeam, which will come up again a little bit later. But it's easy to think that the counterfeit itself is the technology, but it's also suggests that God having power over nature and his creation, obviously is a creator of everything. Job 36, around verse 29 and on here. It's kind of interesting in light of that. So it says here, can anyone understand the spreading of the clouds, the thundering of his pavilion? Behold, he scatters his lightning about him and covers the roots of the sea. For by these he judges people. He gives food in abundance. He covers his hands with the lightning and commands it to strike the mark. Its crashing declares his presence. The cattle also declare that he rises. It's just kind of an interesting idea. And then you go into all the different passages in the book of Revelation, and you get lightning flashes all over the throne, and just as fast as lightning flashes from the east to the west is coming of the Son of Man. So there's all this reference to lightning. So I don't know. It's just one of those fun little rabbit trails. It's a good reminder that, while yes, we are seeing a lot of counterfeit and deception, we're in the age of deceit. There is sort of a pure, holy, godly version of such power, I would say. So in any case, I'm not going to go through all the things, but got anything, Basil, you want to add to that or rebuke?
I don't even know how I possibly could add to that, Cons.